Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0.
Football predictions.
Power Rangers 0, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hello, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with my friend The Moose for another episode of the footballpredictions.net Bundesliga 1 podcast, covering games from the 14th to the 16th of February 2025. And you can see all the details for the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, alongside fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. If you're streaming any matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware.
And the first match we've got for you today is Augsburg, who are 12th in the table, taking on RB Leipzig, who are 4th in the table. It kicks off on Friday, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, at 7:30 p.m. That's UK time anyway. And, of course, if you click the link in the description, you'll find this game, a link to it, where you can see your localised kickoff time, odds, TV channels and streaming services. One of those is Bet365, and to qualify to watch, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you do join, use bonus code FP365. Now, a couple of teams who are in a bit of patchy form at the moment.
Yes, indeed. But let's start with the away team Leipzig, because last weekend we predicted Leipzig to win 2-0 against St. Pauli and pick up some form. And guess what they did? They beat St. Pauli exactly 2-0. So we had that one bang on for a correct score. Last away game, it was a 0-0 draw for Leipzig. We had under 2.5 goals as our main prediction for that game. But you are right. The form for these two teams, it is quite patchy. Although we say that Augsburg, it is only because they had that 3-0 defeat in the DFB Pokal, squeezed in between the last two Bundesliga draws at Mainz and St. Pauli, because otherwise Augsburg actually unbeaten in 5. But what we've got to look out for here is the amount of goals in those games. Last 6 games in the Bundesliga for Augsburg has resulted in 5 matches with under 2.5 goals, and the only one with over 2.5 goals was a 2-1 home win against Heidenheim, which we predicted, by the way. We said that Augsburg were going to win that one. But yeah, away team Leipzig, just 1 win from 5. That win was last weekend, like I said, that correct score. Prior to that, 3 draws and then a defeat at Stuttgart. So they're not in the best of form, and they have dropped off a little bit in the table as well, because they're now down to 4th in the Bundesliga. They're just 1 point above Stuttgart in 5th. So if they want to stay in contention for the Champions League spots, they need to pick up more than just a point from this game.
Yeah, and Augsburg haven't really got a good record against Leipzig, have they? So we expect that probably will continue. Our tip, however, for this game is for an under 2.5 goals prediction, and you can get odds on that of 2. Looking at our full-time result prediction, though, we think it'll be a Leipzig win, and the odds there are actually better. You can get 2.15 for that. For our correct score, we have gone for an away win, but a narrow one of 1-0. So it'll be Augsburg 0, Leipzig 1, as far as we think. And also for that one, the odds are 9. That's 8-1 in fractional. If you were interested in an Augsburg win, they're up at 3.4, and the draw is 3.5 at the moment. Let's see how it goes. Next up, we have Stuttgart, who are 5th in the table, taking on Wolfsburg, who are 9th. And this one is on Saturday, the 15th of February, 2:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. And, of course, go to the link in the description and you'll end up at footballpredictions.net for the page on our website for your local kickoff time and betting odds and the broadcast streaming options in your area. One of those is Bet365, of course. They stream most of these Bundesliga matches, and to qualify, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, do use the bonus code FP365. So, take us through how these two teams are going.
Yeah, these are another two teams that have not really found form this year since the Christmas break in the Bundesliga. Stuttgart, though, have picked up over the last couple of games. They are through in the DFB Pokal. We just covered them because they beat Augsburg 1-0 last Tuesday in the DFB Pokal. And then on the weekend, they went to Dortmund. Dortmund's strong home team. They beat them 2-1. We had over 2.5 goals as our main prediction for that game. But yeah, they beat Dortmund away 2-1. That's a really good result for them against a strong Dortmund side. Now, for Wolfsburg, up until 3 matches ago, and that's the first 18 matches of the Bundesliga, they'd only drawn 3 games. But then they've drawn now 3 in a row. So they've drawn the last 3 games, no wins from 4. Their last game was a home game against Leverkusen. Leverkusen, we know, is a strong away team. So they picked up a draw against Leverkusen. They then had a draw at Frankfurt and a draw at home to Holstein Kiel, which is not one of the best results because obviously Holstein Kiel, second from bottom, is kind of the team that most teams would look to beat. And then a defeat at Bayern Munich. Now, going into this game and looking at Stuttgart, especially at home, we're looking at a team that has had both teams to score in 9 out of their 11 home games. And this might be a little bit leading up to our tip, and I'm not going to reveal too much, obviously.
You just did.
But yeah, but there are a lot of goals in Stuttgart, especially at home. They've only failed to score in 1 game all season at home, and for Wolfsburg, with away from home this season, they've done quite well. They've won 5, drawn 2, and lost 3 away from home, with 3 games out of the 10 not ending with both teams to score. So I'm going to hand the baton over to you, Guesty, for revealing our prediction for this one.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, it's both teams to score. And no point delaying that one. Odds, though, you can only get a 1.53, so not the best to look at. But maybe you prefer a win-draw-win prediction, in which case we're going for Stuttgart to win. Odds not that much better, but they are better at 1.73. And correct score might be a bit juicier if you like to take more of a risk, of course. We've got a correct score prediction of home win 3-1. And the odds you can get for that are 12. So, but yeah, it's less likely to come off than the others. But just looking at the other odds, just by the way, draw 4.2 is what you can get, and Wolfsburg to win 4.33. So the best odds are for a Wolfsburg away win. But yeah, we think it'll be the home side that take away the points. Right, let's move on to Union Berlin, who are down in 13th in the table, and they're taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are 8th in the table. It's on Saturday, the 15th of Feb, 2:30 p.m. UK time kickoff, and click the link in the description for this particular game, and you'll find its kickoff time, broadcast streaming channels, and odds for you locally, because the website is tailored to you wherever you are on the globe, on the planet. And you can watch this one, of course, on Bet365, and to qualify for that, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours and sign up with the bonus code FP365. Well, Berlin did well in the last game, didn't they?
Yes, Union Berlin were actually on quite a horrendous run of form, both coming into the Christmas break because they had no wins in 8 from that sequence, and then right after the Christmas break, they started off with 2 defeats, 1 at Heidenheim, 1 at home to Augsburg. But over the last 4 games, they've managed to pick up 2 wins, a draw. They did have a defeat at St. Pauli, though. That was a defeat that we did predict. We had St. Pauli to win that game. But last time out, Union Berlin, they went to Hoffenheim and beat them 4-0. So it's quite a convincing result for Union Berlin. Surprised quite a few. But this is a home game. And the last home game was against Leipzig. We had under 2.5 goals as our main prediction. It ended 0-0. And the game prior to that was Union Berlin's first win in 11 matches. That was at home to Mainz. They beat them 2-1. We had both teams to score as our main prediction for that one. Now, if we look at Gladbach going into this game, they have also picked up a little bit of form and have had some decent results because they beat Bochum at home a few weeks ago. They beat them 3-0. We had 2-0 in that game, so close enough. But they then went to Stuttgart and beat them 2-1. So great result for Gladbach in that game. A 2-1 result. Again, both teams to score was our main prediction. And then last week we had a score draw for Gladbach at home to Frankfurt. Guess what? It ended 1-1. So we had to draw in that game. But yeah, so both teams here have picked up a little bit of form. It's got to be a tight game.
It is, and we think Berlin are showing a bit of good form, and especially at home, like you mentioned, unbeaten the last two at home. But for this one, we think it might be a tight one and maybe a low-scoring one. So we've gone for an under 2.5 goals prediction. That's our tip for this game. Odds there you can get currently are at 2. And for our prediction, we think Berlin will get the win, and you can get fairly good odds for that, actually, 2.3. Now, is that a yawn? Now, for the actual correct score prediction, we've gone for 1-0 to the home side. Like I said, we think it'll be close. And I think the bookies think it'll be close too. Odds for a 1-0, by the way, 9.5, which I think is fairly decent. But yeah, looking at the bookie prices, like we mentioned, 2.3 for Union Berlin, 3.5 for a draw, and Mönchengladbach to win is 3. So it's maybe a bit of a tricky one. But yeah, we do like that, the look of a low-scoring game. Even though Union Berlin scored 4 in the last outing against Hoffenheim, which maybe was a bit of a blip compared to what they've been scoring in recent times. I mean, they did get a 0-0 the game before that, and it was Gladbach only scored 1 goal in the last game. So yeah, we're hoping that's going to pan like that, under 2.5 goals. That's our tip for that game. Moving on, we are looking at Bochum, who are 18th, and they are taking on Dortmund, who are 11th, Borussia Dortmund. In the table, it's on Saturday. It's also at 2:30 on the 15th of February, UK time, that is. Of course, click the link in the description, and you'll be taken to our website, footballpredictions.net, which provides your local kickoff time, betting odds, and available viewing options, one of which is Bet365. And to qualify to watch on Bet365, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours with them. And when you join, use the bonus code FP365. Well, not much joy lately for Bochum, as you can imagine, being that far down in the table. But Dortmund had a nice Champions League win, didn't they?
They did in the playoffs in the Champions League. And yeah, let's start with Dortmund, the away team in this game, because they went to Sporting Lisbon and beat them 3-0. That was quite a result for them, and pretty much, obviously, there's still a return leg here, but we know how good Dortmund is at home. So to go to Lisbon, beat them 3-0, and have a home game pretty much sees them through from the playoff round in the Champions League. But they had such a good result last week in the Bundesliga because they lost at home to Stuttgart. They lost that game 2-1 with over 2.5 goals as our main prediction. But then the last away game in the Bundesliga, we were very close on our correct score prediction for that one because we had Dortmund to win 3-1 at Heidenheim. They beat them 2-1. And then just to cap off with the home game against Shakhtar Donetsk, we had 3-0 Dortmund. It ended 3-1 Dortmund. So we've had some good goals predictions and outcome predictions on Dortmund recently. But yeah, they're playing a Bochum team who, yes, they have now not won again in the last 4 games. They've only won 2 games all season. Those 2 games were at home. And it was just before the winter break and just after the winter break. They beat Hoffenheim 2-0 and then St. Pauli 1-0. They then had a 3-3 draw against Leipzig in a both teams to score prediction from our side. And then the last home game, we had under 2.5 goals and a ball draw against Freiburg. It ended 1-0 Freiburg. But yeah, overall, Bochum is picking up the wins and the points at home. It's not going to be an easy task for Dortmund, but Dortmund is coming off the back of that 3-0 win at Lisbon. Bochum, although did pick up a point last week at Holstein Kiel in a both team to score prediction there, 2-2. But yeah, a home game to Dortmund here. Not the easiest of tasks for a Bochum team who looks destined for second Bundesliga next season.
Yeah, and also looking at Dortmund, they haven't been beaten by Bochum when they've played them away from home in their last 6 matches in the league. So that's an impressive run, and that's probably going to continue here, isn't it? But let's look at our tip. We've gone for both teams to score in this one. You can only get odds of 1.62 is the bad news, but that's what we think will happen. Dortmund to win, odds of 1.7, so not faring a lot better than the other one. But that's how we think it'll go. And correct score prediction, we've gone for an away win, 2-1. So we think it'll be Bochum 1, Dortmund 2. Odds there you can get at 8.5 at the moment. And in terms of the other bookies markets, Bochum you can get at 5 for a win, and a draw 3.9. A draw might be an interesting one for this, 3.9. Bochum at home, anything could happen. So, yeah, maybe that might be an interesting one to have a look at as well. But that's what we're going for, a 2-1 away win. Next, we'll go to our summary matches. And St. Pauli are 14th in the table, taking on Freiburg, who are up in 6th. And this one kicks off on Saturday, the 15th of Feb, at 2:30 again, UK time. And, yeah, you can watch it on Bet365, and to qualify for that, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours and sign up with that bonus code FP365. So, for this one, we have gone for both teams to score. We've gone for a draw in this game, actually. We think it'll be close. And for a correct score prediction, we've gone for 1-1.
Yes, and how about this one? The late kickoff on Saturday, 15th of February, 5:30 UK time. We've got Bayern Leverkusen in second, taking on Bayern Munich in first place. So this is going to be a really interesting game that, once again, you can visit footballpredictions.net for your local kickoff time, betting odds, broadcast and streaming options in your area, because this is probably a game you really want to watch. And don't forget, on Bet365, you can watch it. And in order to qualify, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you do sign up with that bonus code FP365. Now for this game, we are going with a Bayern Munich win. Both teams to score, but a Bayern Munich win of 3-1.
Yeah, interesting. If that comes off, that could be the championship, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Anyway, next up, we have got Werder Bremen, 10th in the table, taking on 1899 Hoffenheim, were 15th. It's on Sunday. It's at 2:30 p.m. UK time. That's the 16th of February. And, of course, you can stream it on Bet365 to qualify for that. All you need is a funded account with them or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Sign up using bonus code FP365. I think this one in the UK is also available on Sky Sports. And for this game, we have gone for quite a convincing win for the home side. Our tip for this one is over 2.5 goals. We think there'll be a few goals in it. And we've gone for a home win, 3-0 to Werder Bremen.
Yeah, moving on to Eintracht Frankfurt in third, who takes out Holstein Kiel in 17th. This game kicks off Sunday, 16th of February at 4:30 UK time. Once again, go to footballpredictions.net and you'll find the local kickoff times, odds, TV channels and streaming services. One of those being Bet365. In order to qualify for the streaming there, all you need is a funded account and to place the bet in the last 24 hours. Use bonus code FP365 and sign up. Now for this game, we are going with a Frankfurt win on the outcome, at both teams to score prediction and a correct score prediction of 2-1 Frankfurt.
Yes, and finally, Heidenheim, who are 16th in the table, taking on Mainz, who are 7th in Bundesliga, and it's on 6:30 p.m. UK time on Sunday, the 16th of Feb. This one should be interesting. We've actually decided it's an under 2.5 goals tip for this one, and we've gone for an away win, which is Mainz to win 1-0. So Heidenheim 0, Mainz 1, and it's worth mentioning again that game is available also on Bet365, and make use of the bonus code FP365 during sign up. And to qualify to watch, all you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours with Bet365. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. Full details are available on the Bet365 website. 18 plus, gamble aware.
Yeah, and in the descriptions area of this podcast, you'll see links to all the fixtures we've just covered, or visit footballpredictions.net. That's where you'll find all the online sources to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our different tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as the best offers and odds.
And if you like this, we record football podcasts for additional competitions as well as Bundesliga 1, and you can hear them at podcast.footballpredictions.net or where you source your podcasts from, like Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. That is all. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, it is...
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.
Football predictions.